Okay, House of Payne fans, welp, things are getting more intense. So I don't have an episode title, but I do have a synopsis. And welp, here we go. This is going to be season 14, episode 2, dropping on May 7th, which is next Wednesday. Laura goes on a rampage as she expresses her sentiments towards the Paynes. Meanwhile, Ella's successful Bible study takes an unexpected turn when Mrs. Wellington arrives. Now, I have no idea who this Mrs. Wellington is. Maybe, I don't know, a fellow church member or another HOA member or something like that. I can't really specify because I don't know. I cannot recall if there were any season 14 actors access details about new characters from like 2023. Because remember, House of Payne and Assisted Living, I remember they filmed like 2 seasons in advance. So while we were watching season 12, they went ahead and filmed 13 and 14. So my biggest question for the Bible study is I wonder if this is an outside of church thing, because remember, even though things worked out against the abusive deacon of, last season, well, a few episodes ago, really, I don't know if Ella's relationship with her home church is still, estranged, or if this is a Bible study that is taking place with, different people from another church. Because remember, there was the one church, the one episode where she was like church hunting. I think both Peanut and Glow gave recommendations, and she went to both of them, and she's still looking. But yeah, I really hope we follow up on the church story to know whether or not, if Ella's still involved with the home church or she went somewhere else. Now, unexpected turn. Yeah, if it's HOA, it could be like, oh, there are too many cars in the yard or on the side of the road. I don't know. It's just something. But either way, this should be an interesting episode. And in terms of the first part, Laura goes on a rampage while she expresses her sentiments towards the Paynes. Now, given that Ella has this whole Bible study storyline, I don't think Laura is going to go on the rampage with Ella again. Because number one, she ought to know better. Number two, I don't know where this is taking place. I mean, I doubt it's like Calvin and Laura go to CJ and Janine's and Laura just goes in on everybody. But I'm willing to bet that this rampage takes place at the condo, where maybe she's going in on the Paynes to Calvin. And that's a possibility. Or this could just be another situation where it goes down at Curtis and Ella's, where it's like Ella invites Laura over after, speaking to her mom. And, well, here's the thing. After what just went down in the last episode, where Ella, straight up admits to ducking and dodging Laura, and now we have Laura airing out her grievances, my thought is whether or not Ella's going to let Laura speak her piece, because I feel like Ella is going to, well, as the title of the finale was, House of Love, invite her over. They sit down and talk. But if you look at Elaine and how she, conducted herself in last night's episode, that was exactly how things occurred with Laura, where you have Ella trying to keep things at a reasonable level to eliminate tension. She knows it's an awkward situation, but rather than like staying at the same level to kind of talk things out, you have Elaine, getting upset and cursing and whatnot. So basically, Ella will meet you at that level because she tries to keep it civil. My guess is, while the conversation might start off a bit reasonable, it's probably going to escalate. And once Laura gets to a certain point, I wouldn't be surprised if Ella just, has a mic drop moment where she admits, I don't like you. I can't stand you. Because it's like, well, Miss Ella, it's like, I'm about to be married to your son, and I'm about to be your daughter-in-law. So how come you could always make time for everyone else, including Miranda, but you can't make time for me? And then she goes on and on and on and on and on until Ella's like, it's because I don't like you, Laura. And it's like, because, think about it this way, Curtis, if Curtis just so happens to like walk through the living room or something, he's going to say something out of pocket, especially calling her by the wrong name. So there's that. But given that the synopsis straight up says Laura goes on a rampage, that just lets me know she's either going to be out of pocket again. I don't know if she's going to do like a Rampage press tour. Like, imagine she goes over to CJ's and Janine's to talk about how much she doesn't like them. Then she goes over to Curtis and Ella's and, goes into, how wrong she feel by the family and this, that, and the third. I don't know if she's going to do all that, but even if she does, she's going to try to play victim again if somebody calls her out on her BS. But, yeah, I just feel like yet again, we are getting more fuel to the fire of, I don't think this episode is going to do well for Laura in terms of giving the Paynes a reason to make her feel welcome or open up their hearts to actually liking her, particularly Ella. Because I was reading the comments on my videos I posted earlier today about Ella admitting that she doesn't like Laura and the episode review, and people were like, yeah, Jeremy, you're right. I mean, I watched all the episodes, and from like Janine, when she stole from Ella, Janine's former drug dealer, Tracy, Janine's parents, there's a laundry list. No, there's a CVS receipt of different characters who you wouldn't be surprised if Ella straight up said, I don't like them. But this is the first time Ella has flat out said, I don't like this person. And that's very telling. So some people are just sitting up here like, I wonder if this is a situation where the writing is going to explain it, because it just really seems out of pocket. I'm hoping it's kind of like a maternal instinct kind of thing where she doesn't feel like Laura's the right kind of person for her son. But we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, folks, Laura is at it again. And I don't know. Because like I said, the finale, that did nothing to make her look good in the eyes of the Paynes and the fans. And this episode, it seems like things are going to get even crazier. But my question is this, like, I wonder if this is going to start because Calvin is going to do what he low-key promised he'd do in the season finale to both his parents, that he would, get his house in order. So I wonder if he's going to sit down with Laura, voice his opinions on it, but then Laura's going to fly off again, like I mentioned earlier, maybe fly off to just Calvin in the condo, going in on his family, and then that's going to cause some infighting. But then you also think about what we just learned about, let's be real, Ella coming to the, realization that this is low-key my fault because, I've constantly avoided her and whatnot. And, well, I'm glad she's, confessed to that. But the real question is, Ella, now that you've come to understand why you've been moving the way you have, what are you going to do about it? That's the biggest thing. So, yeah, not trying to excuse Laura's disrespectful behavior, but now Ella sees why she did what she did. So, all right. Well, that being said, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.